So now you can just select a clip, press a button, and apply a blur. Okay, not only that, you need a text layer, just press a button, boom, text plus layer. There you go. Okay, I need an adjustment layer. Bam, there you go. I need a solid color. There we go. And if you were just as sane as I am, just press this button and boom. Let's see this one. And there you go. We got our damage number popped up. Press a button and boom, there you go. We got the stamina bar. But not only that, on a simpler scale, you can pull up stuff like, okay, you just need to pull up your like downloads folder quickly, or like, you know, folder where you put your green screen meme stuff, or like actual meme stuff. You can do like sound effect, music and stuff like that. From all those to like, okay, there is all linked. Okay, everything is unlinked. Or you wanna adjust the volume of it, you can just, there you go, volume decrease, volume increase. But here it gets even better. Now if you're like total insanity mode, you can just like make stuff like, okay, here's the S0, right? We can just press a button and there you go. We can make like a scene S3, like S4, S5, S6 or S7. Like you can even like one step to like YouTube, whatever link you want to put. Yeah, subscribe by the way. Basically you can do this all, and by the end of this video you will learn everything. Basically I'm gonna show you how to set this all up and all that stuff. Timestamps will be in the description, and I'll try my best. Also, by the way, did I say it's all free? Alright, so Davinci Resolve dropped their 20.1 update, and in that update what they added is, if you are in the edit page, you can press like shift space and it pops up a search bar. And now in the search bar you can search like you know, adjustment layer, like say Gaussian blur for example, and you just kind of select it and there you go, it applies the thing. That was fine, but you know what, I'm a lazy. Why not automate the whole thing? So the whole context is basically, what if you can just write a code that actually gonna press shift and space, pops up the search bar, will search whatever you wanna put on, and it will just apply to it. One press of a button and a fraction of a second. Also, before we start the video, so special thanks to our channel member Chilllevel257 to Wiki Zerwell and Death Rider of the Apocalypse. You're the legend, my man. Also, thank you, Furious, for the Don't Let the Beast and Doom Eternal. Oh, and also Shadow for Mad Max and Batman. Whole show, like the whole French. Bro, what did I do, huh? I don't know. Drop an editor de video. Thank you so much for buying me coffee. And everybody who commented on my previous of this macro videos, like you said, you just, this is insane and stuff like that. I read all the comments, so it like makes my day. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. Yeah, I've been going through much stuff. Thank you so much for all your kindness. Thank you so much for your kindness. Now you all not strangers. You guys are my brothers. Whoa. It's boiling. I don't know. After I came back from the mountains, I'm like in freaking rage right now. I'm gonna just. We're gonna always. Hey. Like, I don't know how these people trust me. Like, dude, I haven't uploaded such kind-hearted people, man. I really appreciate your guys' support. And here we are. Let's dive into the absolute insanity. That's gonna be fine, alright? So if you're new and you're first time watching this series and you just find out the video, you'll be like, what the? Like, how are you doing all this thing? So I'm just basically using a software called hidmacroFORGE, which basically makes any of your spare keyboard into macro keyboard. Just with the software. It'll get in highlighter. Whoa. In depth, what happening is, like, when you plug multiple keyboard in your Windows, Windows have a protocol in a way that it would merge all the inputs as the same input. But here comes this software. This software will go in, and before it merges, it would just hook the information up. It will pull up the VID, like the vendor ID, I guess that means, and some other information about stuff like that, and it'll be like, okay, no, this is keyboard 1, this is keyboard 2, 2, so that means the P key of keyboard 1 is different than the P key of keyboard 2, and it lets you assign stuff into that. Say example, keyboard sequence, the unlinked one, it's like Control Alt L or something. So you know, when I press this one, it's basically doing Control Alt L. Okay, everything is unlinked, or running a whole application through it, which I'm doing like you know, like running these folders and stuff like that, or just pulling up the YouTube. It's taking time. I know, right? We're not Linux, right? Can't do the thing. Subscribe, by the way. But so now what that means, if you can run an application, is you can just make your own script. So for me, what I'm doing is I'm running a Python script which is doing all the stuff. So I'm, you know, when I'm pressing a button, it is running like Python script. Okay, this is the simpler edition. I have the most. Okay, don't get scared. Don't get scared. Don't get scared. I'm okay. Look, I'm not a coder. I'm just a basic editor. It's not as complicated as it seems, trust me. But don't worry. So basically, by the press of a button, I'm running like a Python script, which is basically telling all that stuff. For example, like, okay, press shift and then space together, and then go there, search S7, and then apply the whole thing. We're getting into why I did the way I did, which is we're gonna talk later. But this is the context of what is totally happening. You know, here, pressing a button, pulling up the solid color just like that by a fraction of a second. So here's a better preview of what is capable of. So you just select the clip, you press this, it applies. Great. Crane, whatever you're in the most obscure situation and the clip is selected. Okay, I'm just gonna press this. It applies. Another obscure spot. It applies. What if it's just minimized and I accidentally press the button? It doesn't apply. What if the Davinci Resolve is not running and press the button? It doesn't run. We cooked hard with this one. But before diving into these deep, basically, we're gonna be starting with the most simplest thing. hidmacros and how to set it up, get it going. It's very easy. So first, what you gotta do is you gotta get to this very sketchy website. No, it's not sketchy, but just joking. It looks old. Okay, so you just basically come to this website over here, version 2.3. I think that's what you need. And then it will basically prompt up this download. You just hit save. I will put everything link in the description. So you will get this hidmacros.zip file. Now there you go. I press one button and just pull up the downloads folder. Just like that, from the thin air. So once you have these hidmacros, you just do right click, extract to hidmacros. Whenever you wanna do that, to be honest, it's just up to you. I would recommend you to just put it, I don't know, somewhere you can just find it out, I guess. So once you go here, this is all we need. It's called hidmacros.exe. Just right click on it, run as administrator. Like, as I already have it, I'm not gonna do it, but for you, just run it as administrator, and then we're gonna right click on it, create a shortcut, and this you can just like for me, like, I just cut the shortcut, paste it on my desktop, so whenever I want to run it, I just use the shortcut, boom, it just pops up. And this is what the hidmacros looks like. Okay, so first thing first, you go to the settings tab. I think minimize to tray, the rest is just fine. Then come to macros tab. This is where your everything we're gonna make. So how do you use the hidmacros? You just come to the macros tab, press on new, and now for example here I'm just gonna name it escape key, so then I can just easily track of it. Just name whatever thing you want to name. You just press scan, and now here you press whatever key you want to assign. For me, I'm pressing escape here. I'm gonna press escape. You see this says keyboard 1927 escape. That's like all the nomenclature, so it got assigned. Now we can go with the keyboard sequence, or we can go with the run application. Let's start with a normal key sequence. For example, you wanna save, Control S, go to this help tab and just scroll it down and until you find this. So for control, we use this icon, so you just copy this thing. I just press Control C there, and then keyboard sequence, paste this thing. So Control and S. So you can just normally type S, I think, small s instead of capital S, and then you just hit save. Great. And yeah, I just minimized it subconsciously. So now, for example, here we gonna make a change here. Like, let's say unlink this thing up. Great. Now I'll be like, okay, I wanna just save it. So like, hit this. There you go, it just saved, just like that. Crazy, right? Or if you want to do like, you can use the same template, you just pull it up and just change it with the V, right? Save configuration. Let's say I just copy this, I just control C this, and then paste just by a press of a button, and yeah. Which was not a very practical example, to be honest, but I use these kind of things to do stuff like change the color to just mark it like aqua color for it, just something important. You just select it and I use the lime color, or like the most important thing, I think the most important macros I use is like volume up and down. So useful, like you can just like select a bunch of the whole thing and just spam the thing, and you go. Or like you just want to quickly mute the thing, bam, kind of like that. Or one of the times I find it really useful is like you want to open this in Fusion, so you just select this and you just press this and it opens on Fusion. Normally, like if you hit this Fusion, it would take the upper layer to the Fusion, not that layer, like that. And that's how you just do it, basically. Also, just for your information, when you're adding a key like F3 or enter or del or up or down, you need to put that name inside of a second bracket. Just as for volume up, I used alt shift up, so I had to put the up inside of the second bracket to make it work, and that's basically it. You can make the combination by reading it. I just want not getting too deep because we're gonna go even deeper. But if you can, just drop a comment, and I will just comment you back with what you need to type there. I read all the comments. Now, the next major and the giga useful thing you can pull off is assigning a macro for a particular folder that you really access all the time. And this is how you do it. You just come here so you go to whatever folder, for example this, which is called crane code 2025, which we're coming into that, but for now we're just gonna, whatever folder you want to make a shortcut of, just select the folder, right click on it, create shortcut. Great, this is our shortcut. We're gonna right click on it, we're gonna go to properties of it. This is all we need, it's already selected, so we're just gonna right click on it, copy, and we're gonna open the hidmacros. You're gonna go run application, check this box right here, just remove it here, just and paste this path here, and then save. And now I'm here, I'm gonna press this button, there we go, disappears. Yeah, this we're getting into that, and I think this is the end of our simple territory. Now we need to, we want to do some advanced, the simple stuff like pulling up adjustment clip or text plus or whatever you want. Alright, so from now on to proceed, you need to basically install two things and two modules basically, which is totally just simple. So like, first thing, we would need Visual Studio Code. Now I know you technically don't need Visual Studio Code, people would just say that, but like, dude, I'm just an editor, I'm not a coder. When you put the code in Visual Studio Code, if something is missing, for example, if I just do this, all of a sudden it will appear like these yellow lines, and like, okay, you need to add a module for that. This is the reason why I recommend you to get this, and you technically don't need it. You can do this work with Notepad if you are a genius, but I'm not, I'm just a dumb person. We need Visual Studio Code, so just come to this link over here and just basically download for Windows and just download, and basically it's just gonna be a double click installation. And if in case you need a tutorial, you can watch my older video where I've explained how to install Visual Studio Code. If you need help, you can check that, and you'll end up with something like this. Basically it's a clean version of just like that, basically, which is great. Now the second thing we need is Python. Basically you come, okay, I will just drop this website. You basically come to this website and just hit download. So this is also a double click install, so you don't need to go too crazy on this. Just double click, next, and you'll be good to go. But just in case if you need a tutorial, you can watch my older video, I've explained it there. But yeah, for now you'll be good to go. It's very easy. And after the installation is done, we're gonna just turn on the Visual Studio Code. Let's go to start the cinema, guys. Just kidding. It will look crazy because I have some bunch of shit installed on this, so it might look very simpler for you, but despite you will see a terminal here. If you don't see this terminal or you accidentally close it, just like that, you go to the terminal, new terminal, open it. Now here just python Python space this button just after the 0 2 times, and then type version, and if you enter, you will be able to see which version if you have installed and stuff like that. Great. Once confirmed that you have Python installed, now we're gonna install the two modules that we need to run the code. So basically we would need two modules to run this code, which is pyautogui, through which we are doing all this automation, and another one is pywin32. So basically it's nothing. You do pip install and my typing skill is horrible, pyautogui. I will put everything in the description, and then you hit enter. Now for me, like, it's already installed, requirement already satisfied. For you, make sure your network is on and it'll be installed. And the second thing we need is pywin32. So basically pip install pywin32, hit enter. Requirement already satisfied, so I have both installed, and these the only two things you would need. So basically you should not see your whole code when you're gonna paste it here with any weird lines or module missing or something. You should not, at least. Alright, so now we need the code template. So come to this website over here, I'll link in the description, and then come down, select this thing, and just go over here. It's called Crane Code 2025. I mean, obviously it's free, but put whatever you want. I put 0, get now. This will redirect you to this page where you put your email address, so I can update you if I make any changes to the code or you make an improvement, and you put your nickname, whatever, just and just click on checkout now. It should open this beautifully professionally unprofessional receipt. I know, right? Just go to the bottom of the page and then hit view content, and you'll be able to download it. Hit download, and it's there we go. There's your download, Crane Code 2025.rar, and then you hit save. Boom, it downloaded. Now you just right click on it, extract Crane Code 25, and this is all we need now. Now we're about to cook. You can put it to whichever directory you want to put it to. For me, for sewing purposes, or I'll put it into desktop here, right there. So basically, get the folder, just double click on it, and here we are. Wait, this is the thing. Do not touch it until I say what the. So once you open the folder, you should see 3 folder, prototype code 4.0 URL, bigbang 3.0. Do not touch it right now yet. First of all, what you need to do, turn on Davinci Resolve right now. Open hidmacros. Now you need a key to execute the bigbang 3.1. I'm going to be using the escape key of my second keyboard. So you just basically click on this 3 dot, and then go here, this button, make it all files. And now I'm gonna go to desktop, and because I have made a very brilliant decision to put my folder on the desktop, but basically just find this is the code, Crane Code 25, and basically browse this bigbang 3.1. You just select it, you open, and then you just hit save configuration. Now as you can see, I have armed the bigbang 3.1 to my escape key, and we're about to execute it. So basically you open Davinci Resolve, and you come to the edit page, and you basically press shift space. Now for example, I'm going to take Gaussian blur as an option, Gaussian blur as an option. Just type Gaussian blur, press downstroke key, and then just hover your don't click on it, just hover your cursor over in this search result, like this black box over here. Just keep your mouse like that. My hands are free, and I'm about to execute the bigbang. I'm about to initiate the bigbang. Just 3, 2, 1. Great. Nice.
It's just a joke.
It's done. So now let's come back to the folder it was in. And all of a sudden you will see this folder popped up. So this thing popped up called macroforge.py. Now before you do anything, just create a folder called don't touch, and just put this bigbang 3.1 inside of it, just so you just don't touch that thing. All right, all we need is this macroforge thing, and maybe we can just name it like final codes. I'm naming it final codes. Just create a folder over here just like that, and put this macroforge inside of it, just like we're trying to organize purpose. You can use it all over there, like basically, but the fact that, the thing is that if you double click on that, and if it's in the same directory, it will override that thing. So go inside of the final codes. Long story short, this macroforge pyw is your code generator. So basically you're just 90% set up, ready to go. We just simply double click on it. This window will pop up. Now you need to just put whatever thing you want to generate code of. For example, like Gaussian blur, and just like kind of copy it, and then like come to this window and then just paste it like Gaussian blur and hit generate, and there you go. That's your code, just like that. Now open your hidmacros again, make a new macro, and just connect that Gaussian blur.py with that basically. So for example, I'm gonna run it through Davinci Resolve Blur, which is this is my Gaussian blur key. I'm gonna just connect it with that. So I'm just selected Davinci Resolve Blur, hit this 3-dot icon. Yeah, make sure it's all files, and we're already inside of bigbang. Okay, final codes. Okay, we're gonna select Gaussian blur, and we're gonna hit open, save configuration. Great. Open Davinci Resolve, and you just basically select the clip, press the button, and it should work just like that. So basically, every effect you wanna make a macro of, you can generate the code through this macroforge. So long story short, what that means is anything that is searchable inside of this box, you can generate a code for it through that macroforge. For example, like if you have some custom templates and stuff like that, or custom transition packs and stuff, you can do that. Okay, so long story short, let's generate a macro for fusion composition. So you just double click on this macroforge, this window would pop up, and you just type fusion composition, and you hit generate, and there you go. I'm just gonna go to hidmacros, and I'm gonna assign it to my escape key again, because I don't have, like, my whole keyboard is full. So I'm gonna go to the escape key, and then we're gonna just click that 3-dot bar. We're gonna assign it to fusion composition, open, save configuration, minimize it, open the Davinci Resolve, and just keep yourself here, and let's just press the button. There you go. Now, like, obviously you can control the length of how long you want to do the fusion composition through, like, Davinci Resolve, preferences, user, editing, and then you can just come to here, like standard generator duration, standard transition duration, still duration. You can just mess with this thing, and just hit save to just do whatever length you want to do. Alright, so by far, if it works for you, then GG. There we go, you learned it. However, for some reason, if it doesn't work, this code is getting generated, but it is not working. So what you just basically can do is you select any of the things that you have generated, and you just drag it onto the Visual Studio code, just like that. Everything glows up. There is no red, there is no nothing going on. You can see, like, if some module is missing, it would just pop up. If something is wrong or just glitched out, it would just pop up. All right, and you can just see it. Then you can just comment about it, why it doesn't work, kind of like that. So with that said, it's actually a really good time to look into what is happening inside of the code, or why I just said that, okay, don't touch the bigbang, kind of like that. The reason I told you to not touch the bigbang 3.1 is whenever you're clicking bigbang 3.1, it is recording the coordinate of your cursor inside of this monitor, basically. That's because that's the only value we need to generate the other code. I know it might look such an abomination of me. Look, I'm not a coder, but I don't know. Maybe it could have been done in the most easiest way, but this is how I did it. So yeah, this is bigbang 3.1. As you can see, like, this module is basically recording your coordinate of your cursor in x comma y, and it is applying in these x comma y, and it is generating the file called macroforge.pyw with that upper portion of the code, and that's what we have inside of this, which is forging another code. I know how. As you have made this far, this is a great time to dive inside of the code so we can move further into the inside. I'm not going to go too complicated on this. I'm just going to logically make you understand what is going on here. Alright, so basically this module is checking if Davinci Resolve is minimized or maximized, or is it even running. So if it is maximized, it is triggering this module of apply effect, which is doing the further task. And if it's not maximized, the other case is minimized or something like that, it is triggering a normal work. For me, it's been like slash. You can put whatever you want. For example, my Davinci Resolve is minimized, and if I accidentally hit the escape button, it would work as slash, just basic slash. It would not trigger that part of the code, which is just gonna go crazy. And now when Davinci Resolve is maximized, and when you're just pressing the key and it's working, so what it's actually doing is basically doing shift space and searching Gaussian blur, and it's pressing the down key. Great. And now this mouse cursor is going into this coordinate, clicking it, which is triggering the application, and then coming back in a fraction of a second basically. And that's why I needed the coordinate of it. Now obviously you'll be like, Crane, why don't you just like, okay, shift space, Gaussian blur, downstroke, and enter? Yes, right? But for some reason this won't accept any virtual simulated enter key input. I've tried everything. The Pi input module, the keyboard module, I have tried using the C types, enter through C#, and then run it through it. It just does not accept. If it does, then this all is coordinate BS. We don't have to deal with that. But the good news is, despite of wherever your cursor is, this dialog box appears exactly in the middle of the screen here, no matter what. For your monitor, it would appear here when you're maximized, so you just don't need to think about like the failure of the code. It would just always work. And that's why I told you not to touch the big bang. So if you have to use it for a different monitor, your coordinate might vary, so you have to do the same process as you did with just putting the cursor over that search result box and triggering the Big Bang 3.1, so it generates a forge for the other monitor. So in simple words, if you're using Davinci Resolve in a restore down way, just like here like this, you won't be able to use the code. It only works with maximize window. I think this is how most people use it, because we're editing, right? But however, so for some reason you use Davinci Resolve in a restore down way, and the code of Big Bang 3.1 and the MacroForge doesn't work for you, then introducing to the code 4.0, the ultimate what was the name again? You go to prototype code 4.0, you'll find this code named the ULTIMATEmacroFORGE. Anyway, so for this, you don't have to do any of the Big Bang 3.1, whatever, nothing. You just basically come to this ultimatemacroforge.pyw, double click on it, same process, the window will appear. You just type Gaussian blur, for example. Gaussian blur, you just hit generate, and it generates the code. Come back to your hidmacros, and for example, I'm gonna be using the Gaussian blur key, so Davinci Resolve blur, and then you go to hit this 3 icon, and you go back to your crane code, prototype code 4.0, Gaussian blur.pyw, hit open, save configuration, and you open your Davinci Resolve, and if everything goes as intended, if I press this button, it works. And that's not the end of it. If you go restore down, and you just like, it's the most obscure setup you can have, you press the button, it works. Look at that blur. A blur got applied. Or like, for example, you're just the most like, who would use it like that, bro? But my OCD just acting up. That it works. Why just leave this bottom right corner? Just do it. Though, yeah, literally, because I mean, if it works for you, you don't need to put any coordinates for this. It just works. I'm 80% sure it will work. It will. If you are just sane as I am, allow me to demonstrate. I'm gonna pull this code up inside of Visual Studio Code, and I will show you what is happening here. So basically what is happening here is there is this module which is called get window state. It basically checks if the DaVinci Resolve window is maximized, if it is minimized, if it is restored down, and if none of them true, then that basically means DaVinci Resolve is not running. So if DaVinci Resolve is minimized, or if DaVinci Resolve is not running, it would execute the normal work. Great. So now, if DaVinci Resolve is running in a restore down way, it would trigger the restore down code, and if it is maximized, then it would trigger maximized code. Great. Okay, Crane, how are we getting the coordinates? So inside of this code, there is a function called get primary native resolution. So basically, as by its name, it is actually detecting what is your resolution, if it is scaled or not, and which is, so basically it means like if you like what is the real pixel of your monitor or display, and then what is the possible center of your monitor, the width by 2 comma the height by 2. That's going to be the coordinate of the center of the monitor. So what happens in DaVinci Resolve is if you press shift space, this dialog box always appears at the center of the monitor despite of which display you're having. So we can always make a line of, okay, we can tell the mouse to go to the center of the monitor, move a certain pixel up where the search result is situated. For example, let's go Gaussian blur, right? So this search result is always in a constant distance from the center. For my display, it is 100 unit in the y-axis up. That is literally what we're doing here. So basically, with that information of the resolution, width, and height, we're deriving the coordinate of the center of the monitor. Despite of whatever monitor you're using, it should work. And then we're telling the mouse to go, okay, 100 unit up. You'll be like, how do you know? I mean, well, I did some experiment. It stays 100 now. Yeah, this is where the point of conflict, like maybe for your monitor this is not 100, maybe this is something else. As far as I know, it should scale equally and it should stay 100. And funny enough, like when you use it on the restore down edition like this way, the search result itself, it always appears in the 131 units up from the center in the y-axis. If the DaVinci Resolve is restored down, the mouse would go 131 in the y-axis up from the center and would click it and will come back wherever it is, and that is how it is working. So the reason I put it under the prototype, because I haven't tried it in the other displays, that if the value is exactly 131 or 100, or it does have some relation with the resolution. For example, if you're running with 4K, does this 100 value goes 120, or can we find a relation that we can predict, or it's like an algorithm in a way, which I haven't done it or I haven't tried to simulate that to perfect the code. And if I'm pushing that further, then maybe I should make an app. It's moshy, it's winter, it's raining, it's but anyways, just to scare you, let me show you what is inside of the ULTIMATEmacroFORGE. Then we're gonna move on. Look at this. I don't know, this feels normal to me. It's cold, it's foggy, this is very silent. Okay, Crane, how did you even make this code? Introduce you to the Grok. No, like the Grok didn't really generate the whole code. None like that. You cannot. Maybe the paid version can generate it, but I don't know. What I did is like I reverse engineered through that. Like it's like I know logically what I want to pull off here in this code. But the problem is that I don't have the exact, okay, what module need to use. I don't know about it because I'm not a coder, right? Basically what I'm doing is just tell me what module I should use and how to use it. Teach me. Professionally, I'm professional. Problem solved. You have reached this part of the video, and let's go one step further, guys. If you have to grab a cup of coffee, grab a cup of coffee. And now we're gonna dig into the insanity, the fusion. Okay, we're gonna actually start with the smaller one, and then so we're gonna dive into that. But before that, I'm just gonna go pray. All right, it's time for DaVinci Resolve Fusion. let's jump on to it, shall we? Basically, we're gonna start with the most simple one, and then we're gonna go build up our way up to this. Again, if you want to just dedicate a few full tutorial on it, I mean, I can make it. You just can ask for it. I would love to make the Davinci Resolve tutorial if you want, but I think I don't know much. But I still like, if you want to see from a macro perspective or a workflow perspective, you can tell me. I can make, or you can request, like, can you make a template for me, and I can just do it, and I could just give you the thing. But I don't know. First of all, open your Davinci Resolve. So what we're gonna make is, we're gonna make a macro for black and white effect. So our goal is, we're gonna press one button and it will make the clip black and white. That's it. And we're gonna be doing it in Fusion, so that will allow us to basically save the effect, make a macro of it, and export the effect, add it to the Davinci Resolve library, and just assign a macro for it by generating a code on the same of the same effect. Alright, so here we are. This is a clip. We want to make it black and white. Now first thing I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna just summon adjustment clip, just like that, over here. Now basically, we're just gonna hit this fusion thing. We're just gonna go to the fusion page. Now it might look different for different things. For example, you may have like the split screen on. You just can click this button to just kind of like do that. You can click on here and press the minus button to just zoom out. You can do middle mouse button to kind of do this thing, and you can just zoom in, zoom out with plus and minus, just like that. The first thing you might accidentally, you're just gonna press this or this, and then okay, what happened? You cannot see it, and it happens. You might, while you're trying to grab it, you might accidentally press it. So basically nothing too crazy. Just this, the media out. You just left click, yeah, you just left click on it, and you just drag it on here, and there you go. Now you'll be like, what abomination is this? So the media in is what is under the adjustment clip is the media in, and it's connected by this Among Us sort of node. So like, oh, I disconnected it. You can see there's only one output here. This box is output. If you just left click and you just like poop connect it, there we go. It's just, you can see it, and you see this blue bar. It's basically for masks. For example, like we can add like these masks, like a square or a circle or a polygon. So we can just like press this button, and okay, there you go. We got a rectangle. Now if you shove it in now if we just attach it to this blue thing here, now okay, we got a mask, and you select the rectangle, and you can just play around with the dimension to like do stuff like that. And then to move around with it, you can like click this. This is your transform layer, or other way, you can do shift space and you can stripe transform, but you might get confused. So like, you just select transform, add, and then there you go. You have your transform. So you basically take this left click, just basically disconnect it with thing, connect the output with this yellow thing here, and as you can see, you cannot see anything obviously, and then connect this output in this thing. Bam, it works. I mean, this is what the basic of it. And whatever you're gonna change in the transform, like for example size, like this and that, it will be changed. And then at any point of time, you can actually change whatever you want to change, literally. And that's what the power of the fusion is. Like the rectangle, you say that, okay, I want to use the ellipse, so I just hit on this, okay, ellipse, and then you can just drag it and just connect with this thing, and all of a sudden, damn, it's crazy. You can just do stuff that, okay, it's basically like a circuit is flowing from left to right, always to the media out, and this is how it works. So in this scenario, what we have here is media in, media out. Great. Now to create the black and white effect, we need something called color corrector. Maybe so you just shift space, you search color corrector, yep, and you just click on it, then add, and there we have it. Now it'll be like there's 3 node and something like that. You can just left click on it, press shift, and you just hover this over here, and it will automatically plug itself up easily, just like that. Now here we are with the color corrector. Nice. Now obviously, to make it black and white, you just put saturation all the way down. This is it. If you just click on here, it would add something called background, which is equivalent to solid color, and I'm just gonna attach this to here in the media out, and I'm just gonna stretch this thing out, and then I'm gonna add a merge node. Where's merge? There you go, merge. I'm just gonna hold shift and then just gonna shove it in like that. And now we're gonna connect the output of the color corrector with this green one here. This is the setup. Background is connected with the merge is connected with this, and this thing works. Make sure it is the way it is. Like, it's not like, okay, overlapping. This is bad right there. This is bad. Okay, man, I wanna make it an abomination. Like, no, this is wrong. And just zoom it out. And then here's an important point: select it from the left side to the right side. Don't start like this. This is wrong. I think this would not work, as it would just have more problems in the future. Or just don't just start like this, something like that. Just simply start from the left and just connect till the merge, and do not select the media out. You just select 1 2 3 4 4 stuff. You can see, just zoom in everything. Now just hit right click on any of those. You go to the macro, create macro. We're gonna name it to BW. Keep it simple, bro. Great. Now you go to this 3-dot icon here. You press left click. You just go save as a group, and you put whatever directory you want to save it on. For example, I have this directory called Davinci Macro Keyboard. I'm gonna just save it like bw.setting, and you save it. All right, good. Now what you need to do is you go to the effect. So if your effect is not on, you can just press it, turn it on. If your media pool is on, you can just turn it off, or you can just turn on the effect. And under the effects, you will find a thing called templates, and you can see all my stuff is already here. But yeah, we want to come here in the templates. All right, and then we're gonna go to this 3-dotted icon, show folder, and this directory will pop up. I think you should have a edit folder in general. If you don't have it, just make one. You double click on it. Great. So you have effects and titles. Now what we made is an effect. We can do with title too if you want. If you have a custom title, you can this is the way you can import it, same way. So you go to the effects here. If you so for example, like here, if you don't see an effects folder, you just create a effects named folder exactly like the way it is. Double click on it, you open. Now I have already like macros folder created. You can just create a new folder and put under it, or you can just drag that .setting file here. For me, I'm gonna paste it under the macros folder. Like, you can name whatever you want. So you just go inside of macros, and then I'm gonna pull up that. Oh my god, what I named it? Black and white. So we're gonna just copy it, and we're gonna paste it here. Great. Now Davinci Resolve needs a restart. Okay, so once you reopen Davinci Resolve, if you are in edit page, and if you go to the effects tab here, now if you go to the effects tab here, and if you just scroll down, you will find your macros folder, and there you go. That's your black and white, just like that. So you can just drag and drop it, but that's not what you're gonna do that way. So you can just shift space and search BW, black and white. It applies. Now go back to your folder. So you go to the final codes. There you go, your MacroForge that we talked about. You double click on the MacroForge. You just typed BW, and then you hit generate. You got your code just like that, and then we're gonna go to hidmacros. Now we're gonna create a new black and white, and we're gonna scan a key now. So I have a black and white keys ready for it. I'm gonna just press it. There you go. Then we just go run application, 3 hamburger icon, final codes, black and white, open, save configuration, and you go back to your Davinci Resolve, and you just like, okay, you just select the thing, and I'm gonna just, there you go, it works. That's how simple it is to make. And that was your first Fusion thing. Now, congratulations. And the best part of this thing is you can just select on it, and if you go to the effects section under it, you see this icon here, and if you click on that, it would lead you to the Fusion page itself. Now obviously you can see what the hell is spline. You can always turn it off using that. You see like a split screen, you can just make it like this, and you see this one. You just zoom it in with the plus key I'm pressing. You see black and white. You can double click on it, and this you'll see the whole thing intact. The way this is the reason I said if you do it like it's like overlap two wires. If you say like, okay, I want to change the thing, you can change anything, whatever you want to change here. Yeah, basically, yeah, like you want to make it back, something like that, you can do. Fully customizable. Alright, so before we jump into the absolute insanity, I think one of the really useful macro for you will be is like just press one button and it pops grok in. I know the loading time is like this because what you gonna do, we're not running on Linux. For example, in this scenario I would want to show you, okay, like this is my video, so I'm gonna make a macro that would just connect to that video. Basically that's simple as that. So here's how you make the URL macro. So open the same folder that I have provided, and then you go inside of this URL section, and then you will find two of these. Now I would start with the grok.pyw, and you just drag it and you put it inside of Visual Studio. Just cut the rest of these, everything. So as you can see, it's pretty simple code. You know, this is your URL and it is opening the URL inside here, just like this, between those double quotes, and just press backspace and just Control V, and all of a sudden we have this YouTube video that have been embedded inside of it. And for example, just let's save as editing underscore keyboard, sorta like dot pyw. This is what we want, and save it. So there you go, our editing keyboard.pyw is there. We're gonna open the HID macros of ours, and then we're gonna go back to again escape key, and then we're gonna just three dot I'm gonna click on that, and then we're gonna click on crane25 code, URL, editing keyboard, open, save configuration. It's armed, so we're just gonna press the button, and this should open up, or this should fire off the video. Gonna cry. It is as simple as that. Now the reason it launched through Brave, because Brave is my default browser, but now if you wanna use Google Chrome to run the link that you are running, in that scenario you go back again to the URL folder, you go to this grok -Chrome and just drag it and you paste it in the Visual Studio Code. Now as you can see, it is the same link sort of that. I'm not gonna change the link for this time. Basically you just paste whatever link you want to put inside of it. You just paste the link, and you just basically you need this Chrome path. Now what this thing literally is, or let's do with Mozilla actually. Like I have this Firefox, and I'm just gonna right click on the Firefox properties, and then you would just find this path over here, and you just copy it, and you just basically delete this thing and you paste it. All of a sudden you'll see, oh, it's all red, man, what the hell is going on? Yeah, because we got two double quotes here, so we're gonna get rid of that first place. Great. Now all of a sudden you see this slash over here. Like this is why I love Visual Studio Code. It is getting yellow, means something is wrong. I mean, it doesn't mean something is wrong. It's yellow means like it is using it as a different function. So this slash needs to be reverted. So you just you know, just as is in the link, you just reverse the thing, and there you go. It should work like that. Now you just basically file, save as, and then just basically save it as grok this Firefox, and again .pyw file, save there, hid macros, escape key, and then we're gonna the three dot icon, grok Firefox. We're just gonna select this, basically open it, save configuration. So if everything is right, if I press the escape key, it should pull up. There you go, you pulled up grok just like that. Now yeah, basically yeah, if you want to put your WhatsApp web through that or this whatever, I think that is the most useful, I think, macro of all. But yeah, now we're about to enter the part of the video where it combines the fusion insanity with these macro insanity, just like not really advanced, I would say, but like I'm pretty much excited about it. Normally I wouldn't have pushed my workflow this far until there's one guy who reached out to me. His name is Abhijit Ghosh. His proposal was, so what if we can actually like do stuff like S1, S2, S3, S4, S5, S6, S7 with just like apply S1, apply S2, S3, S4, S5 just by a press of a button, just like that. And that's how I got the idea of, oh, like, okay, I can kind of make template using Fusion, and now we have the effect. So if you combine them, great. Now if we can actually pull this off if we do like crazy code stitching, but like it's not for everybody, but like if somebody needs this workflow, I mean, we can technically make it possible. So if your scene is this S0, which right now if you're watching the video, yeah, this is my S0, like this is how I'm recording in my OBS. This is the S0. I can just make templates and I can just simply drag or like apply the effect, and then all of a sudden you can have like A roll, B roll just acting like this, and just like this. So we're gonna be making different templates for these two combinations. What we're gonna do, for example, you have recorded in OBS like separate sources. For example, this is your gameplay, which is, let's say it's S1 or like kind of a B-roll, or let's say it's a A-roll, you're talking about it. Now to make these templates useful, you need to have it both in one screen, so then I can take apart those two things and use it in a different way and just make templates out of it. Okay, I'm just dragging, hold alt, and I'm gonna drag this, hold alt and drag this, and I'm gonna put this up, put this down. I'm gonna select this and just gonna kind of make it small. Now I don't really need the whole camera itself, so I'm just gonna make it just kind of crop here, and then just gonna make it like 0.690. Also, if you're worried about what this guide is, you can just toggle it off and on. I like to use it. Fit it over here. Now for the B-roll, I can just do like this. Great. So this is the scene. So this is how you create S0. So now I'm gonna select both of them. New compound clip. We're gonna call it S0 create. So this is like kind of a buffer. Above this we're gonna create the effect which would do all this other stuff. So we would need an adjustment layer. So I'm gonna summon an adjustment layer just like that. Now we're directly gonna go to Fusion. So you just select Fusion. Here we are, and as you can see, it's hollow, because the reason it was looking black, because there was nothing behind it. So yeah, I don't know how much breakdown I need to do of this thing, but I don't know. So first of all, we have ourselves media 1, media 2, but as I said in the previous, to apply the effect you need to have a background layer. So we're gonna do that first. So we're gonna add a background layer. We're gonna put it on the very left, and we're gonna connect it with the media out. Okay, I'm just going to disconnect first media out here, and we're gonna just connect it like like that. And now I'm just gonna set the color to, like, for example, a little bit of this, just like that. Great. Now you got yourself media 1 here. We have two scenes stamped into one scene, so we need those two elements separately, right? So we're gonna just copy the media 1, Control V, and then we have now two copies of it. Now what we're gonna do is, now we're gonna add two merge layers, 1, 2, and you just select, oh shit, select the merge clip, hold shift, plug it in. Just gonna select the merge clip, hold shift, plug it in. Now we're gonna plug this one in. You can see that the media 1 is connected. Let's make the gameplay separate, then the face cam, which basically means you need to add a mask. So we have ourselves this rectangle thing, and you just connect this in this blue here, like that, and all of a sudden you got a mask. And if you select the rectangle, now you have like, oh damn. Now if you just move it there, great. And then, like, let's just increase the height. You can just select the screen, you can just spam the plus, and you can just zoom it in, and that's how the workflow works. Like, okay, let's just adjust the height a little bit down. I'm not trying to be perfect, but yeah, there we go. So this is our element. Now here we have the media 2, which is going to be our face cam, which is going to connect it with this, and all of a sudden this pops up. So we're going to select this media, and then we can hit like box again, or a rectangle, and all of a sudden you see a mask appears. So you just select this rectangle and you just zoom it in, put it above this, and you just adjust it whatever you want, sorta, literally whatever. There you go. So now we have two separate layers. Means like if I disconnect this, okay, then this remains, and if I disconnect this, then we have this remains. So we have separate layer on the same scene under the same thing. I'm just like a little bit of adjusting the whole thing. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a scene where my face cam is above it and the rest of the scene is under it. So for that, so basically this 2 makes up this unit. Now I want to resize this unit, so I have to attach in this chain transform node. So you just basically select it, shift, and plug it in. You just attach the transform node, and whatever you change would affect everything that is on the left side of it. I mean, I think that's the best way to explain. This transform node will control everything that is in the left side of it. So I'm gonna select the transform. Come in the inspector. If you don't see the inspector, it's like you can off on always, and then you just size it up, just like that. You adjust the size, and you just like literally like this is the effects chain, kind of like that, like in the transformation. Now if you want to be like, okay, I want to blur the background, so you can just control space, just go blur, and then you can just blur it just like that, and it just works. Or you can just detach the unit, attach the unit, whatever you want. But for now I'm not blurring it, I guess. So now let's adjust what our face cam and how it's gonna be. So what I'm gonna do is I want to make it like very big. So I'm gonna the same thing. I'm gonna on the top of the media node, I'm just gonna spawn a transform node. All right, I'm gonna connect this media node with this like yellow, like old school method, like the way like it, so you can see the chain. And I'm gonna go here, make the size big, even more bigger, because I need only the face. All right, so I'm gonna go back to the rectangle mask, and I'm gonna kinda bring the height down. Okay, this is too big. I'm gonna go to here, rectangle. I just want to select this, make it smaller, and just I want to press, and then we're gonna use the transform, do this. But it feels weird, as you're not looking at the gameplay, so we're just gonna flip this thing up. Okay, you see the okay, never mind, it flips, but it went in the other side. I mean, you can do it many ways. It's like all logical. If I apply another transform layer above it, so like now it's gonna control what is in the transform layer, and if I hit the flip, there you go, you have a lower flip, and that's gonna be better. And you can add like different stuff to different things inside of it. You can apply some glow. Let's put it on top. There you go. Oh my god, that's horrible. I'm gonna put another sharpen. I'm just trying to show you like how much stuff you can do. Media out, you can just like whatever, you just keep at. Oh my god, that's horrible. So now you have all of a sudden, and like what about like a drop shadow? Oh god, my PC gonna crash, man. Like this is the amount of things you can like built in. Drop distance, there you go. And also for this list, and also like for example, you did sharpen, right? So you can just control C this sharpen, and control V it. Now you have another one. You just shift and plug it in. Now you have the footage also sharpened like that. But if you let me just decrease it from 3.1 and now we have an abomination, just like as you can see. Now I'm gonna just put the background a little bit and just trying to organize stuff. So if I go to the edit timeline, if I just get this adjustment clip away, all of a sudden this buffer gets converted into this just by putting up this adjustment layer. So you can just keep it somewhere. You can even put it stored in the power bin, and you can just work around with it. But for me, I'm gonna convert it into an effect. So I'm gonna go to the fusion, and we're gonna zoom out, and then make sure these two are far away, and then we're gonna start from the left, select this whole thing, and then you can see all the things you have done, and select each any of these nodes. Right click, macro, create macro, and then just like say test. We're gonna call it test. All right, we're gonna hit this 3 dot, save as group, and we're gonna go to our directory test.setting. Okay, I'm gonna hit save, close our Davinci Resolve itself. Then we're gonna go to our folder where the MacroForge is, and we're gonna go to the final codes, MacroForge. Double click on it, and we're gonna type test, and then hit generate. There you go, you have test. I'm gonna be same using the escape key. So now we're gonna hit this 3 button here. Now you can see you cannot see anything. You can just make application to all files, and then you just select the test, open, save configuration, boom, and then go to the trfx directory where like edit effects macros. Here we need to paste that test, the test setting. You just paste it over here. Now we have it. Now you turn on Davinci Resolve. Now here, as you can see, we have a S0 here, which basically is like this. Now if I hit my escape key, there we go. There you have it. Also, I was also curious, can you stack 2 effects on above it? Let's hit the black and white. Yes, you can. I think that was it. Alright, so if you're watching this, then you made it to the end of this video, and congratulations! I don't know why you're watching this. Maybe you're just as sane as I am. I don't know why you're watching this, but I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you find it helpful, I think drop a like and just comment. I read all comments, so I really appreciate your time. And if you want to see more of these tutorials, let me know and I'll make more. But yeah, I already set my foot in the rabbit hole of this thing. I am working more on upgrading this thing in automation. I don't know, it's just cool, it's just fun to just do that. It's fun to just sit in front of the code and staring at it for 40 minutes to find like, oh, there is this one apostrophe or like a one single code that caused the bug. It was the whole code was not working because of, it's like a needle in a haystack, bro. What the whoa. I think that's it. I'm freaking done. Thank you so much for watching. It means a lot. And special thanks to our channel member Chile level 257 Wiki Zerwil, Death Rider of the Apocalypse. Oh my man. Thank you so much for all the support, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Till then, good night, good luck, keep yourself alive, and stay human. Don't be a puppet. I'll see you soon. Peace. That's it. I was just gonna say bye. And if you want to convert your ideas into reality too, watch this video.